So how do you take local ambition, that spark you see in small communities, and turn it into a powerhouse for a whole nation's economy? Well, today we're diving into a playbook that's designed to do just that, to unlock the incredible entrepreneurial spirit of rural India. Let's get right into it. Our story starts right here, in places like this. These communities are home to the vast majority of India's population. And really, this isn't just some pretty backdrop, it's the main stage. As you can see, it's a real wellspring of potential, just buzzing with ambition that's waiting to be unleashed. And get this, a whopping 61.3% of rural workers are already self-employed. I mean, that's not some future goal we're hoping for. That's the reality on the ground right now. It just goes to show that an entrepreneurial drive is already deeply, deeply rooted in the culture. But there's a problem. There's a big gap. Despite all that drive, a lot of these aspiring entrepreneurs run into the same hurdles. Limited access to money, a really tough time reaching bigger markets, and just a lack of formal business training. So the real challenge here is bridging that gap between the raw dream and a business that can actually last. And that right there is where the Rural Entrepreneurship Playbook comes into the picture. Its whole purpose is to provide a clear, structured roadmap to help people navigate all those challenges and build something that truly endures. All right, so let's take a moment to really appreciate the sheer scale of this untapped potential we're talking about. These are the kinds of businesses that are already the backbone of the rural economy. You see them everywhere. But here's the really amazing part. 85% of them are first-generation businesses. Think about that. This isn't about inheriting the family shop. It's about building something completely new, from the ground up. So where does a journey like this even begin? Well, the playbook makes a pretty bold argument. It says you don't start with a business idea. No, you start with the community itself. And honestly, this is a total game changer compared to most development models, which are usually top-down. The very first step here is all about listening. It's about getting out there, engaging directly with people, understanding their unique problems and their strengths, and figuring out what the community actually needs. The whole thing is built from the inside out. And look, this isn't just some vague, feel-good idea. It is a highly structured process. The playbook breaks it all down into 5 crystal-clear, actionable steps. It goes from strategic planning all the way to effective engagement, making sure absolutely nothing is left to chance. And this shot really shows you the result of all that work. By going through this cycle, assessing needs, holding workshops, mapping out ideas, entrepreneurs don't just land on any idea. They find the right idea. One that's relevant to their region, feasible to actually pull off, and a perfect fit for them as a person. Okay, so once that perfect idea is locked in, it's time to build the blueprint. This is the phase where a cool concept gets its legs and starts to look and feel like a real business. So that's the big question, right? How exactly do you make that jump from just an idea to a rock-solid plan? Well, the playbook lays it all out, step by step. It starts by looking at the entrepreneur's own skills, filling in any gaps with custom training. Then it dives deep into market research and, crucially, some really rigorous financial planning. Every single step is designed to build a foundation that's strong enough to handle real-world pressure. And check this out. The median seed investment is just 50,000 rupees. That's it. When you're working with that little capital, that super detailed financial planning we just talked about becomes absolutely critical. There's basically zero room for error. All right, with a solid plan in hand, it's finally time for launch. But, as the playbook really stresses, no entrepreneur is an island. To succeed, you need a powerful support system, an entire ecosystem around you. I mean, you can have the best plan in the world, but it's that ongoing support, that network of people and resources around you, that really makes the difference between a business that just starts and one that actually thrives for the long haul. And this support really comes from 2 main pillars. On one side, you've got government schemes, which give people access to crucial funding and resources. And on the other, you have mentorship programs, which offer that priceless, real-world wisdom and guidance. You really need both working together to succeed. So, after all this work, how do we actually know if it's successful? What does success even look like? The playbook has a really refreshing take on this. It argues that success isn't just about revenue, and it's not just about profit. It's way bigger than that. It's a holistic measure that looks at the growth of the person, the health of their business, and, this is key, the positive impact it has on the entire community. And this chart shows what that holistic success looks like in practice. You'll notice that Yeah, economic and financial metrics are important, but they're balanced out with things like skill development, social impact, and even adopting new technology. It's a true 360-degree view of what progress really means. And we've got to give a huge shout out to the collaborators behind this incredible resource, GenPact and Transform Rural India. This playbook is just a perfect example of how powerful partnerships can be when it comes to driving large-scale social change. So, when you boil it all down, what this playbook proves is that a systematic, supportive, and community first approach can create a powerful engine, one that takes all that local potential and transforms it into real, measurable national growth. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. This model was designed for rural India, right? But could a structured playbook just like this be the key to unlocking that same kind of entrepreneurial potential in communities all over the world? Definitely something to think about.